Have you ever heard of the antisocial advantage? Do you ever feel like you're bouncing off between a group of friends and social groups? Or do you ever feel like you need to spend time by yourself? I think I have an explanation. So there's something called the antisocial advantage, and Marshall McLuhan, a philosopher from the past, he came up with this idea, and I thought it was very interesting because that's something I personally felt, is that I always feel like an insider and outsider at the same time, because it got to a point where once I understood people well enough, for me it was time to move on. So I sort of came up with this phrase as, once you understand them, then you cannot stand them, right? And I don't know why this is. Perhaps it's because I'm always, in some of the things that I do, I'm always in the business of, doing what people think is wrong, like maybe investing or startups or in science. And you sort of need to go against the wave. Not necessarily just to be a contrarian, but also to be thinking for yourself, right? So let me tell you more about the antisocial advantage and what Marshall McLuhan thought of it. So he says that almost all of the most observant people he knows share one characteristic. He says that they are both insiders and outsiders. And then he says something that was interesting to me. He says that they are insider enough to receive secrets and catch inside jokes, but they don't let themselves get too close to the groups they study by spending a lot of time alone and bouncing between social groups. That way, they avoid groupthink and make poor observations. Perhaps I don't do that on purpose, but something inside of me subconsciously make me like bounce off between people and just spend time by myself in thinking things. It's not that I like to talk to people, I do, but it comes to a point where I need to like take everything in that I'm learning from my surroundings and then take time to reflect and think and digest what I'm thinking in order to create that which I will create or reflect and think about. And then he says, and then quote unquote, he says, quote, the poet, the artist, whoever sharpens our perception tends to be antisocial, rarely well adjusted. He cannot go along with current trends and the currents. A strange bond often exists among antisocial types in their power to see environments as they really are. Personally, that's something that I also see myself doing a lot of the time, is that I'm trying to see how things actually are and not necessarily by seeing reality as I wish or as I think it should be. The antisocial advantage. If you see yourself like you're bouncing between social groups, or if you see yourself like spending time alone a lot of the time, this could be an explanation. This could be the reason why. That might be why. You might be a very observant person who is trying to see reality as it really is, that is for some reason interested in that, seeing that reality, and that's why it's important to take that into account. So, thank you so much.